Hi there, Chris from TotallyEV, and here we're doing an audio review of the Seat Mii Electric. Now this Seat is pretty much near identical to the VW e-up, so if you're interested in that car or indeed the Seat Mii Electric, do check out in the links in the description below. You also see a link to our Instagram, so if you're on that social media platform, do follow us on there. It's at TotallyEVnet. Now to kick off this review, it's worth knowing the audio setup. There's 6 speakers in total. There are speakers on the A-pillars, on both sides of course, on the front doors and on the rear doors as well. So there's total of 6 speakers and there's no subwoofer, so that's worth bearing that in mind. Now here the speakers themselves can be configured through the infotainment display. It's nice to see that you've got a treble, mid and bass control. In my case, what I did is put the treble to 0, mid to 3 and bass between -1 or +1 depending on times of your music. At the moment I've got it configured to +1, so it's just worth bearing that in mind. Now to give you a bit of a kind of demo as to how the audio performs in terms of the cabin, what I'm going to do is place the camera in different positions and have music play back. The song I'm going to be using is from Priya J. The song name is called Ghosting. Do check that down below, and if you do like her music, make sure you do subscribe to her.
People keep saying you're shy, but we both know that's a lie. Saying you're talking straight, acting like you're my man. Only man who proclaims as the blood running through his veins. But now you've gone 360, I'm gonna show you how it's...
Now with the sound demo out of the way, let's get into my subjective opinion. And I know, yes, it won't be ideal in terms of listening to a song that's been compressed over YouTube, but still I had to give you a little bit of a clip to how it performs. Now, while my microphones might not pick it up, my ears did pick up the sound system pretty well. And here I will say that the Seat Mii Electric is pretty much identical to the VW e-up, whereby it's a fun sound throughout the cabin. Now here, the speakers that combine together do produce a, well, a little bit more of a recessed V-shaped sound. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing if you're going to be listening to, let's say, R&B or pop music. If, however, you're listening to, let's say, classical music or opera, for example, you'll feel its mids are a little bit lackluster, and without the option to upgrade the sound system, some people might be a little bit disappointed. Now, breaking it down in terms of the sound frequencies, what I'll say is that the sub bass is there, although it does feel cut off, and that's namely due to the fact that there's no bundled subwoofer that comes included. Instead, the mid-range drivers found at the front doors will essentially try and cope with that low-end rumble. In the mid-bass tones, it's punchy, it's tight, and it's very much, well, likable, at least to my ear, specifically if you're going to be listening to, well, songs which have a little bit more bass in them. As for the mids, they are recessed and pushed back, and while you can dial the mid-range up to around +3 without it sounding too artificial at the, well, in terms of the mid-range frequencies, what I will say over here is that it is pushed back and you will hear more of a recessed tone in comparison to, let's say, more premium vehicles out there. Still, it's not bad given the fact that this car is, well, bundled with these 6 speakers by default. As for the highs, they extend relatively well, slightly rolled off at the top end, but are not sibilant or harsh in the slightest, no matter what volume you crank them up to, which is nice in terms of your overall listening experience. The thing which lets it down in terms of its overall sound is the Soundstage, whereby it sounds a little bit closed and the instrument separation could be a little bit better. Here I feel that if there were more drivers that were included throughout the cabin, you'd get better instrument separation, better width and depth. Still, for a small sized car, it's not bad and it should be commended. And as a result, the overall sound system is not too bad. At least for a relatively inexpensive all-electric car, it's actually pretty impressive. And as a result, the stock sound system, given it comes included for free, gets TotallyEV's Value Award, which I feel is the same case as the VW e-up. Now let me know in the comments below if you've ever heard the Seat Mii Electric sound system, or indeed some of its alternatives. Be very much intrigued to hear your thoughts as to what is, let's say, the better sounding small-sized all-electric car out there. Let me know in the comments below, and of course, if you do like this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe to see more, and favorite and share if you want to see more from the channel and feel that this video might be helpful to, let's say, a family or friend. Alright, I've been Chris from TotallyEV. Take care and bye bye.